Hey y'all, did y'all see this shirt real quick just in case you ain't seen it? Because people always ask me about my shirts. Anyway, this is AL Thick Madame. I hope y'all have been having a wonderful day and definitely a wonderful weekend. I know I've been MIA, but a lot has been going on that has been out of my control, and whoo, child's a lot. I swear I wish I could tell y'all. That's how crazy it's been. So anyway, I'm good though. I'm fine. It's not me. Thank goodness. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this recap review. So this is the recap review, of course, of The Chi. Okay, this starts out showing Keisha drawing pancakes. And I'm like, why is she drawing pancakes with candles in it? And they end up doing a flashback. And it's a flashback of her, I guess, last year. I think this had to have been like last year when it was Kevin's birthday. This is literally Kevin's birthday, that day that we saw where she's doing this. But anyway, they're doing a flashback to what I presume to be last year. And they actually have a tradition where he gets pancakes for his birthday. They go to IHOP or somewhere like that, and he gets the same thing every year. He has a usual. Like, that's how everybody in that place knows what it is when he come up in there. So anyway, in the flashback, we see Keisha give him a gift, which was a scrapbook, because y'all know she liked taking pictures and stuff. But anyway, gives him a scrapbook of him and her and different special moments. You know what I'm saying? Because she was like, you know, I'm going off to college. I ain't going to be around. She actually took a picture of him on the spot, and he was looking like, and like she seemed very happy in the moment, and he was just looking, you know, acting like a typical bro. I don't know if y'all have brothers like how he was acting in that moment, but my brother would do something like that. He would frown up. Like, I would be shocked if he had actually smiled in the picture with me in a moment like that. Like, if I was literally at that time when it was me going off to college, I think my brother would have reacted the exact same way. So anyway, oh Lord, y'all. So she's now crying because she's remembering that moment. And the dude who we learned, I don't know if y'all know, but I forgot to mention it with me actually recording the video last week, that the guy who has her held captive, his name is Omari. And as I suspected before, this is something that I did mention. I said, I bet it's somebody we've seen throughout the season, and apparently it is. So I don't know how they're going to reveal how that is, or who, you know. I think what they're probably going to do is, once we actually see you know, the moments, I think they're going to do like flashes of, oh, here he is. And he probably has actually received a flyer before, after he's, of course, kidnapped her, and he probably has walked by and seen her, but I'll get into more of that later on, y'all. I cannot. Anyway, y'all already know what happened last week. Ronnie thought he heard her screaming. So the next morning, he rolled up on the doorstep, and he's knocking while this man was literally in the middle of brushing Keisha's hair. And I was just like, bruh, first of all, you know you're wrong for that brush. Second of all, like, y'all, did y'all see that brush? I feel like he was like tearing her hair out, and that was not good for her curls. Like, no. So anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. But yeah, he hears a knock at the door. Like, he keeps on knocking, and I'm trying to figure out, like, is it actually gonna be Ronnie or not? It was Ronnie, and you know, the man finally went to the door. And Ronnie was able to get inside because he told that man he ain't got a pot to piss in. And he, you know, looked over there at his cart, and he was like, man, you know, can I use your bathroom? And so he tried to make it seem like, yeah, you can use my bathroom. This man talking about him and his wife. He was like, yeah, me and my wife, we heard the screams and stuff last night too, but you know, we hear all kinds of stuff all the time, so we ain't really paying no attention. And I'm like, bruh, you doing the most. Like, I'm tired. Anyway, Ronnie got into the house. He looking around. He was like, oh, it's a nice place. Whatever. So, you know, he ends up, you know, saying, well, where's the bathroom? Well, he told him where the bathroom was, which was upstairs. Apparently, she's somewhere downstairs in the same area, on the same floor as when you walk in. Because when Ronnie walks upstairs, they show Keisha, downstairs, chained up. And so she's hearing him Old boy is smart. So he turns the TV up because you see Douda on the TV, of course, doing what he doing, trying to get people to buy into his campaign bid and all that. He walking across the floor. Ronnie's being vigilant and he's looking around trying to see if, you know, maybe a door is closed or, you know, if a door is kind of open, maybe I can see something, whether it's something that's remnant of a woman being there, a younger woman. Y'all, he does eventually go to the bathroom because the old boy was downstairs looking like, okay, he walking a little bit slow. Like he was vigilant too. He was seeing him there. He was standing down there being very observant too. So anyway, he going to the bathroom. And so like he kind of listening and then he flushes the toilet. Keisha is screaming, rattling the chain and all this stuff. That man to turn the TV up. I'm tired. So Ronnie goes downstairs and he was like, man, I thought I heard something. Ronnie got his back to this man. Y'all, that man was about to bust Ronnie upside the head. And then Ronnie turned around and was like, man, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing things. And then at the same time, as he's coming to this realization and, you know, kind of leading that man off the path of maybe I'm just hearing things, there's a kettle screaming in the background. I'm like, Lord, I can't. So in my mind, I'm like, I know good well this fool heard what he heard through the vents, and he better come back with the police, Dre, and everybody else because I'm tired. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the house, Kevin's mama and Dre are wrapping up a gift for Kevin. And she was like, well, I hope he likes this because he got a little girlfriend now and I don't want him to be walking around here funky. She ended up getting him this cologne set. And so Dre was like, well, you know, Keisha normally helps you buy the gifts. Well, pick out the gifts that you're going to buy for Kevin. And so she got emotional about that because it's true. And that's how she's been able to, like, get through the birthdays because she knows what he wants. So, you know, she was in her feelings. And later on, you know, before Kevin left the house, they were like, look, we want you to come home. We want to spend some time with you for your birthday. He was like, I already got plans. I'm going to be out with my friends for my birthday. And so they were like, okay, we get that. Come home, eat with us, and then you can go do whatever you're going to do. Promise us that. We understand that you're growing up and you want to do your own thing, but please promise us that. So he was like, all right. Y'all, Emmett and Keisha are at this special weed spot. Emmett is doing the most. Like, he is bringing way too much attention to himself, and I'm just tired. Brandon's cousin, I don't know if y'all remember him. Brandon's like super duper smart. People might consider him to be weird. Cousin, he is there and he actually is the owner of this spot. You have to have a special clearance of sorts to be able to even get in. You know, he has to have, I guess he has some kind of way of being able to vet you, and Keisha's been vetted. And before they even came in, she had to let him know, don't be messing me up. It took me a lot to get up in here. So anyway, she's trying to do her business transaction like she normally do. And I think she normally has to come up off of 400 or 4,000. I don't remember, however much money. So he over here looking like, what you mean? Why are you trying to charge her all that? We can come up with $250 at the spot for that much at the house. Why are you charging her all that for the? They were like, look, we running a business here, ain't no discount. So he trying to get into it with people hemming him up. Oh Lord, it was just too much. I was so tired. So anyway, that's when he ends up seeing that old boy is the cousin of Brandon. And y'all know Brandon is the dummy who sat up there and was doing what he was doing on the actual show and got fired. And I'm just like, you stupid. Jason Mitchell, you dummy. Anyway, so we see a skating scene. I got my life because, you know, it made me have a little flashback and things. But yeah, Kevin and Gemma are at this skating rink and they're skating and they're having a great time. And of course, they're playing an amazing song in the background, which was Shorty Swing My Way. Sure look good to me. Now would you please swing it my way? Shorty swing my way. Anyway, y'all. So he is having a moment to himself, and he overhears these Valley girls talking about him, meaning his situation with his sister being missing, and it's kind of like they're feeling sorry for him. And he has made it clear that he doesn't want everybody all up in their business. He's very much like me when it comes to that. I don't want everybody in my business. I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me. I just want to find my sister alive. That's it. So the fact that these heifers knew about the business, he was in his feelings. And so he was talking to Gemma. And so she gonna try to play it off to myself, man, you know the streets be talking. And I was like, girl, the streets ain't talking to them. So why is we lying like the streets was talking and people just be talking? We'll get back to that later on. So anyway, you could tell that him and Gemma are getting really, really close, really, really cozy. I was like, okay, look at y'all. Look at all this dark chocolate in the room. Y'all better do that. Look at all of this. So anyway, y'all, Omari, who is old boy who has kidnapped Keisha, y'all, he's storming to the room. Tired of his spirit. I said, oh Lord, oh no. He done went off. And he was like, yeah, I heard you trying to scream. And I was like, oh my gosh. This fool went into a whole spiel about how it was when he first saw her. And I'm like, bruh, you are trifling. You are sick. Anyway, Keisha apparently reminds him of his first crush who didn't want him and rejected him. And I'm just like, what they got to do with Keisha though? Y'all, anyway, so the story goes like this. He lived for some heifer back in the day who didn't live for him. And he wanted a piece of her. He wanted her. She didn't want him. Apparently, Keisha had the same kind of natural hair like her, was pretty like her, looked like her, and all of that. This fool said that he got rejected by her, and she went around and started dealing with trifling dudes, ended up pregnant, fat, and on welfare, and he couldn't save her, but he gonna save Keisha. And I'm like, did nobody ask you to save nobody? This ain't no Project Pat song. What is we doing? This ain't no Project Pat song. Anyway, y'all, well, basically it is a Project Pat song, because don't save her, she don't want to be saved. At the same time, didn't nobody ask him, ain't nobody asking him to save nobody. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all, he just make me sick. That's just the gist of all of this. So anyway, I'm like, who are you? So anyway, y'all, Trey is at the house, and then he gets a knock at the door. It is his brother, Jacob, and apparently he asked Jacob to come over, and the reason for him asking him to come over is that he wanted to know where some money was that Reggie had hidden in some house. He was like, Reggie ain't had no money. What you talking about? He was like, yes, he did. He told me he had some money. It was like $50,000 or something like that in some house or something. So he's convinced that ain't no money in whatever. So y'all, Trey was like, turn that up. He got the TV on. Douda, her mama, is on the TV reading Douda for filth and said, vote for Camille. My son ain't nothing. My son is trash. And all that, like, she was reading him down. And then they actually, of course, show Douda and Candy, who is Douda's wife. I forgot what her name is on this show, if I ever even remember. I said it one time about who she was going to actually be, because I knew she was going to be on the show. But anyway, she and her feelings, and she tied in her spirit. And she was like, I can't stand her. And he was like, watch your mouth, that's still my mama. He can't stand his own mama either. But yeah, it's just too much. He was like, look, I'm not going to respond to it. You know, it is what it is. Candy ain't trying to hear it. Douda done told her, leave the situation alone. Don't even worry about it. I'm not responding. Y'all, Brandon's cousin is talking to Emmett and Keisha. Emmett is trying to cut a deal. Whatever he has allowed them to try, like, it is making them feel so good and amazing. And he was just like, look, this is a special strain that I've created that I'm letting y'all try. And, you know, I'll let y'all take it home. And so he was like, well, I don't want you, you know, Emmett over here trying to take over the situation. And he's talking about some, well, I don't want you to just give it to us on the house. I want you to sell it to us. And, you know, he's trying to cut this deal. He was like, why everybody trying to hustle? So eventually he actually agrees to the idea that was presented to him. And so, you know, because he's really trying to help him to understand that Keisha is amazing at what she does. She has clientele who live for her. They really be wanting a lot of product from her. She stays up in there getting more product. So she would be very valuable to the business. So he'll be able to profit too. So, you know, eventually he was like, I see what it is. I see what's going on. Y'all, this fool said, let's toast up light skins, because he's dark skinned and the two of them are light skinned. I was like, oh my, he is so crazy, y'all. I can't. So anyway, y'all, Papa is so sweet. He is so sweet. I cannot. So him and Maisha are in line at this cake shop to get the cake, of course, for Kevin's birthday. Y'all, they get to the counter and ask for the cake. He opened the box up and the box say a whole nother name that ain't Kevin's. The girl had an attitude before she even brought the box over. I was just like, is she, because see, okay, this was my first thought when she had like this attitude look on her face. I was like, okay, like, was there like a super duper mini baby sized cake and she was mad that the cake was like $5, $10? Like, is that what it was? Because some people really be trying to look down on people, and it's like, everybody can't afford all that expensive mess. But the cake was plain considering, but I didn't know if that's what it was, or she just had an attitude anyway. So he was like, you need to fix that because that ain't how you spell Kevin. And so she was like, well, how it's supposed to be spelled? He was like, the regular way you spell Kevin. Y'all, she gave the box to somebody, told them to fix it. They wiped one letter off and it was still wrong. I think they ended up spelling it Kevon after they wiped the extra letter off. And I was just like, I think the thing said Kevion or something. I was like, how you get that out of Kevin? Anyway, y'all, I'm tired. So Papa was just like, whatever, and took the cake. Ronnie picked his grandmama up because they're supposed to be going to this place that she remembers. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. Y'all, Keisha, y'all, I'm saying the wrong name. Tiffany. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. When I said Keisha earlier, I meant Tiffany. Tiffany is the girlfriend of Emmett. Keisha is the one who has been kidnapped. I am so sorry. I don't know why I kept saying Keisha. My bad. So, Tiffany went to drop off some weed to a client, right? The woman didn't have the money, and so she was like, well, you know, it's okay. And y'all know Emmett ain't got no job, so he right there with her, and he ain't here for the free. And she was like, look, I ain't gonna have no money for a while, so, and you know I don't want to have no debt. And so she was like, well, what I can do is I will give you a reading. And so he was like, what you talking about? And she had to explain to him that it was a psychic reading and that's what it was going to be. So she told him to pick a card, ended up basically showing that she's in love or that there's love going on. He was like, yeah, we are in love. And then as the whole reading continued, she mentions the fact that he is going to be an issue because he cannot keep his friend in his pants, and that's going to be the problem. And then, of course, Tiffany storms off and she's mad. She done went off. She wanted to know who the woman was going to be, who was going to be the problem, what was going to be the issue. And it just got to the point they was just like, whatever. It just is what it is. Whatever he going to do is going to happen. And he over here looking like, how you going to blame me for something I ain't even did yet? And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's so trifling. But anyway, they are actually going to Kevin's surprise birthday party as well. Y'all, I'm just so tired of them. Their relationship is going to be tested again. It has been tested before. And to me, I don't see the point of them being together. I ain't here for it. So whatever. Trig and Jacob went to this house. And apparently it is a place that Reggie actually had the money hidden. He went in the house. He, knocked down part of this wall and there was a bag of money in there. And so he was like, see, I told you, Jacob. Y'all, you hear footsteps. So Trig had this like metal pipe in his hand anyway, and then the dude came from around the corner. Trig beat this dude down. Come to find out, Trig already knew this fool was following them and that he is one of Douda's folks. And so Jacob looking like, you knew he was following us the whole time? He was like, yeah. And, he basically was using his own brother as bait, knowing good and well what the situation was. And so Jacob tied his spirit. Oh, Lord, y'all. I'm just like, okay, that's too much. So anyway, eventually Trig and Jacob actually went and played basketball together. And they had moments and some emotions came up, and Jacob actually punched his brother. And, basically Trig wanted that to be the last time, because in his mind, he was like, how you gonna sit up there and leave us talking about, oh, well, the reason why I left was because I wasn't a man. He was like, that ain't make no sense, because we ain't had no man at the house. Our daddy wasn't there. So why you feel like that make any sense? That ain't make no sense. Because I was like, Jacob, I'm here with you on that one. That was stupid. Anyway, Omari is trying to get Keisha to eat, and she was like, you know, can you do me a favor? You know, she was like, you know, if I'm good, can you do something for me? And then, like, she kind of finessed the situation and, like, put her hand on his hand. Because I was like, oh, my gosh. Oh, Lord, it's so sad that she got to kind of seduce this fool in order to do what she want to do. And I already kind of knew what it was going to be, but I didn't know how it was going to be carried out. So, anyway, we'll get into that. Y'all, Candy ended up meeting up with Douda's mama. Even though Douda already told her, leave the situation alone. Met up with the heifer, tried to give her $10,000 and get her to sign something so that she could be quiet. I guess it was an NDA or whatever. And she was like, you're going to have to do better than 10 racks. And she ended up pulling out another stack. So $20,000 was going to buy her silence. And she ended up putting her coat on, leaving. She had signed the paperwork. And she read her son down. And I was just like, oh my gosh. She was like, yeah, Camille gonna make a better mayor anyway. Douda came in and he was like, yeah, I love you too. Then he ended up telling his mama to get out. Then when she got out, he ended up telling Candy that he ain't gonna never trust her again and stormed off. And I'm like, I mean, I get it, but girl, she was tired and his mama had to be stopped. Y'all, anyway, Ronnie took his grandmama to Foxy's, which is this place it actually was her establishment at one point in time. It was hers. It was a jazz club. Y'all, jazz club turned strip joint. So it gets to the point where they realized what's going on, and he was like, you want me to take you out of here? She was like, no, I think I need to stay. You got some cash on you? He told her, don't spend it all in one place. At first, I was about to say where he get all this money from, but, you know, I guess all them cans and things. He been finding about 1 million cans somehow. So, yeah, y'all, I'm sorry. My eyes irritated. Anyway. So, y'all already know that pancakes for his birthday is Kevin's thing. And he actually went to the place that he normally goes. The people know him. They live for him. The woman who was like, I don't know if she owns the place or whatever, but in the flashback that we saw of him and Keisha, she was like one of the same people who took his order and said happy birthday to him, sung happy birthday to him the last time they were there. She came and took his order and was like, you know, will you be having your usual? And so he was like, yeah. And then Gemma ended up saying that she wants what he's having and all this other stuff. He added grits to the side and all that stuff. And she was like, well, I'll take care of this. This is going to be my treat. And so she was like, oh, okay, sugar mama, and walked off. So she bought him a gift. He was happy. Like, you could tell he was genuinely happy. Y'all, she was like, you know, I really like you. And he was like, I know, I like you too. I'm glad this heifer went on ahead and fessed up, because I was like, it's painfully obvious that you were the problem. You were the one who said what you said. So she fessed up to being the one who said the stuff. What happened was she told her mama about Kevin's situation. The fact that she told her mama was the problem, because her mama went and was talking to other folks' mamas on the phone about the situation, and word spread. So that's why them heifers that, you know, are called Valley Girls or whatever, they all know about the situation. And so he went off on her, shoved the gift back over there at her, went on by his business. He don't want nothing to do with it. Got mad and left. So Trig and Jacob, like I said, they already went to this spot. They found the money, all that other stuff. Douda is doing this interview, and it actually ended up panning out in his favor because of what happened with his mama. Like, his mama did the absolute most on TV. Douda had this whole interview set up, and he is trying to make everybody believe that his mama has a mental illness, which it wouldn't surprise me if she does, because most people do, whether they can, you know, kind of mask it or whatever. But it turned into a situation where he was like, you know, despite what has been said, this actually was a great segue for him, because he's trying to make it seem like he is here advocating for something that people in our community don't really want to adhere to or accept, in which, you know, of course, it's about mental health and getting help for that. And he's trying to make it seem like it's a part of his campaign. And he actually had footage. He actually had video recording of Camille talking about how basically dumb black people are who go to church, and she's going to keep on going to all these churches in order to, you know, try to basically steal the vote. Y'all, it was the most. I was like, no, he played this on TV for everybody to hear. So anyway, Ronnie's grandmama is talking to him. And, well, she's talking to everybody at the club that's actually present. And everybody's living for her stories about how it happened and how that spot was an amazing spot for black people back in the day, because that was one of the very few places that they could go to be themselves, which was free. So I was like, okay then. So Ronnie ended up taking her home. Cool. Took her back to the nursing home, and she'd have laid down. He'd have took her shoes off. And she was like, it's cold in here. So he was like, okay, Grandma, Mama, get you a blanket. He went over to get her a blanket and covered her up. As soon as he covered her up, she looked like she was knocked out, but she passed away. Y'all, Ronnie checked her breathing, realized she had passed away, and he was really, really sad, angry, all of that. He bust out crying. Y'all, this is, I almost don't want to say it, but it's true. This is the first time in 3 seasons that I felt sorry for Ronnie. Y'all know I can't stand Ronnie. Y'all know I can't stand him. But anyway, I could feel him on that. I felt the exact same way about my grandmama passing away, especially my last living grandparent. It was really, really hard. It's still hard at times. Not as bad as it was, because I couldn't even think about her without just going into like a tailspin. So anyway, y'all, oh Lord, he was in there weeping. I said, oh gosh, I cannot stand him. Y'all, so anyway, Kevin was about to walk into the house because they planned this surprise birthday party. He ended up texting Jacob to let him know that he was at the house about to go in or whatever. And so he let everybody know, oh, Kev's here, is about to come in. And everybody was hiding, and they had turned the lights off and all of that. So right before he walks in, he gets this phone call from an unknown number. As soon as I saw that, I said, okay, this is where it comes in. Because I was trying to figure out how it was going to happen. That raggedy man, Omari, allowed her to hear her brother's voice. I guess the deal was, I just want to hear my brother's voice for his birthday. Today is his birthday. I want to hear his voice. So called his cell phone. She was not allowed to say anything. She just sat there silently until he hung up the phone, because she didn't say nothing. And when he was like, all right, are you satisfied now? I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could stab him. Y'all, anyway. And then before he walked in the door, Gemma was texting him, apologizing over and over again for what she did. He ended up walking inside, seeing the setup. He got surprised. You could tell he was so happy. I was like, that's good that he can, you know, enjoy his birthday despite everything that's going on. Y'all, I forgot to mention, Papa was walking with Maisha to the house with the cake, and he went to go and hold her hand, and he dropped the cake. He got upset. He was like, man, I knew I wasn't going to be able to hold your hand at the same time as holding this cake. So she was like, well, why did you try? He was like, because I really love holding your hand. I was like, that is so sweet. Papa is so sweet. Y'all, but anyway, so the fact that there's no cake, it was just like, whatever. And, you know, he apologized to his mama about it. And she was like, look, I don't need no more bad news. I'm good. She was over there mixing up stuff. So I was like, okay, that ain't no cake batter, I don't think. I didn't know what was going on. I thought that maybe she was about to try to make a box cake real quick or something. It ended up being really sweet. Everything actually panned out how it was supposed to be, I guess, because what she was whipping up was a big old thing of pancakes. And she put candles in the cakes, and it was like a big stack of pancakes with candles in it. And he was like, you remembered? And he was like, and she was like, why wouldn't I remember? Oh my gosh, that was so sweet. But that was what it was. They told him to make a wish. He blew out the candles, and I'm pretty sure that he was hoping and praying and wishing that his sister would come back to them safe and sound. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. I hope y'all enjoyed this recap review. I'll be back later on with Greenleaf. Bye.